In no way at all was I surprised to see progressive activists outside a courthouse chanting and defending Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Because we are a sick nation. Our culture is fragmented. There's so much going on. Population collapse and decline, cultural stagnation and fracturing. And oh boy, I could go on for 27 years about all of these things, especially considering I missed 3 weeks of work and all of that I had to say is compressed in this ball that needs to spray from. Anyway, I digress. Here's the story. Kristi Noem gave a CBS interview. I love this. And they edited what she said, and they basically cut out when she was like, this guy's a human smuggler, MS-13 gang member, all of which has been adjudicated. I'm going to prove it. And then it's remarkable how they pull this off. Now, she's tweeted this out, calling them out. And progressives, of course, are evil. And it's crazy for me to say. I had a tweet go viral, viral, but I got a bunch of thousands of retweets on it. In the wake of that tragic shooting, the trans individual who did it, reportedly, the New York Times said her is a guy. It was a mentally unwell male who did this. I got no problem. Like, men are the perpetrators of mass shootings almost all the time. And they said her because they're evil. They know that's not real. So here we have in this story, Kristi Noem said nothing untrue, and I will prove it with CBS's own reporting. And what are progressives saying? They're saying unsubstantiated accusations against Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland man. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how I feel about deporting an El Salvador guy to Uganda. I got to be honest. Some of it is funny. Like, there's going to be a bunch of liberals like, yeah, it's just, but Uganda's not his country. Yeah, well, he's a gang criminal human smuggler who won't go home. Like, I don't know that sending someone to Uganda is the right way to go about doing it. It is interesting we're seeing these third-party deportations, but there's a functional question of where do you send someone who can't be returned to their home country for treaty reasons or political reasons, or they fear death, but they can't stay here. Uganda is basically, it's Trump going, we're going to send you to one of the worst places we can think of. And I'm not saying it's like Uganda's the worst place in the world. I'm saying it is substantially worse than most other places. You know what I mean? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say it's pretty bad there. The violence is really high, resources really low. But I'm not saying that going to a place that's lawless is, let me put it this way. It's nature. You know what I mean? Like, if we told someone I've talked about the island before, right? If you're a bad person and you've committed capital crime, I'd prefer not the death penalty. I'd say exile. And so if Trump is like, you have no right to be in our country, so you'll be exiled, I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't know. What can I say? We have no duty and obligation to non-citizens who come here and break our laws and work with organizations that kill Americans. Now I digress. I'm going to play the clip for you. Here's the story. Check this out. We got an X. Kristi Noem says, this morning I joined CBS to report the facts about Kilmar Abrego Garcia and said CBS shamefully edited the interview to whitewash the truth about this MS-13 gang member and the threat he poses. Here's the cover-up. Take a look at this.
And the one thing that we will continue to do is to make sure that he doesn't walk free in the United States of America. This individual was a known human smuggler, a MS-13 gang member, an individual who was a wife beater, and someone who was so perverted that he solicited nude photos from minors, and even his fellow human traffickers told him to knock it off. He was so sick in what he was doing and how he was treating small children. So he needs to never be in the United States of America, and our administration is making sure we're doing all that we can to bring him to justice. And the one thing that we will continue to do is to make sure that he does.
It was cut out. Now I'm surprised Daily Beast actually reported on it. They say fuming ice Barbie. I don't. Why are they? Why, I hate everybody. I hate everybody. Anyway, fuming ice Barbie blasts CBS for shameful editing of interview. I don't need to call Kristi Noem ice Barbie. Okay, Sleepy Joe is funny. All right. I'm guilty of it too. Fine, but ice Barbie is just like complimenting her. That's why I'm like, I hate everybody. They're trying to insult her by calling her hot. Whatever. Anyway, Kristi Noem is angry her unsubstantiated claims didn't make it on air. No, don't worry. Here's CBS. Let me play the tape.
All right, the Tennessee Highway Patrol has released new body cam footage of a 2022 traffic stop of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He is the man, you'll recall, that was mistakenly, according to the U.S. government, deported to a Salvadoran prison. Listen to this.
You got a bunch of people in here, don't you?
It's one for sick, yes. Go back to work.
Gotcha. Where are you working at?
Where?
Where?
San Luis, Missouri.
Missouri?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I'm from to Maryland. So I coming from to San
So in the
Luis.
body cam footage, Garcia tells police he was driving the 8 people in his vehicle from Houston to Temple Hills, Maryland, to perform construction work. The Department of Homeland Security says he was suspected of human trafficking. He was not arrested or charged with any crime.
At the time.
I want to bring in Department of Justice correspondent Scott McFarland. Scott, so the DOJ has been trying to frame this incident as a way to justify Garcia's deportation, but we just said he wasn't charged with a crime. He wasn't charged with human trafficking.
Yeah, he was issued a citation for a traffic violation after that footage was recorded. This is going to be mechanized, and to a degree has already been mechanized by the Trump administration for the second of 2 battles over Kilmar Abrego Garcia's detention. There's the legal battle, but there's also that political battle. And they have said that this video gives more evidence that this was a righteous deportation, that this was somebody who was face-to-face with law enforcement.
Now, I love this, too, because while we're at it, right, and accusing CBS, in the body camera footage, the cops are like, he's smuggling people. And they were told, just push him through. That's what the Biden admin was doing. Here's NPR. Kilmar Abrego Garcia released from federal custody pending criminal trial. What? Why was he in custody? I thought he wasn't arrested or charged or anything. Federal human smuggling charges. Oh. Is the argument that the feds are falsely charging people with crimes? Okay, let's play your game. When the Republicans, the right, the conservatives, the MAGA people all said that the federal government was wrongfully targeting Trump and Trump supporters, y'all said, no, the DOJ is an institution. Okay, so when the same institutions charge a guy with smuggling and he's on camera with 8 guys in his car that he drove from Houston to Maryland, what do you think he's doing? These people are evil, they're lying, and we get it. We know they're lying. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, how is this man still in the news? Remarkable. So now they're saying he may get sent to Uganda. Look, man, I'm not going to sit here and defend people who are not Americans, who have committed crimes against us and our peoples. I'm not playing that game anymore. And you can scream fascist and racist, whatever stupid garbage they want to scream. There was a time when the more classically liberal Tim Pool would say, now, we must uphold our principles and defend those who have wronged us, and not anymore. My attitude now is bad things are bad and shouldn't happen. I don't like the idea of, I think we should not deport to third countries. There's very rare circumstances where it is permissible, in my opinion, but for the most part, we shouldn't be doing it as a general thing. In the instances of like Tren de Aragua, obvious criminal gangs and narco gangs and murderers who Venezuela will not take back, then I have no problem with El Salvador. Uganda seems to be a bit much. That being said, there was a time when I'd say, we can't allow this because bad things are bad. Now, I'm so sick of this war. I will not aid and abet in any way, on principle or otherwise, people who wrong us. So, if you are a legal migrant who is accused of a crime, you may have your visa revoked or your residency revoked, and so be it. That's in the law. The law says that. We've decided as a people that's how we want the system to operate. If Trump said, we're going to send you, like let's say the crime is like you're selling drugs. And Trump says, so you know what? We could send you back to Brazil, but we're not. Uganda, I'd be like, no, hold on. So long as this individual says, I know I committed a crime, the penalty for that crime is thus, I have no problem, I get sent back home, but for no reason, just sending him to Brazil, I would defend that. I would defend that. And so long as that person says, I understand I'm to be deported, I agree with your laws and your system, I am to be punished. My point is this. Anyone who seeks to subvert, disrupt, and destroy this country and the will of the American people, I will not defend. That means if a communist has their free speech infringed upon, I will sit back and put my feet up and be like, oh, Somebody who doesn't support free speech has no free speech. Why do I care? Now, if a communist, a known Marxist communist, stood side by side with a Trump supporter and grabbed a microphone and said that they were a communist, but free speech must be upheld even for those they disagree with, if that person who fought as hard as they could for free speech had their rights infringed upon, I would defend them. If Antifa was charged for having a gun, but maintained the right of guns for everybody, I would defend them. I know I can already hear you saying, Tim, the moment they gain power, they'll take your guns away. Probably, maybe. But there was a story out of Utah where an Antifa guy had a rifle and some liberals opened fire on him and killed a random person. And the Antifa guy, innocent, was charged. I defended him. I don't like his worldview, but he was exercising his right to keep and bear arms. Now, I understand he does seek to strip us of certain rights, and he has a bad worldview. But there's a line. I will say, for the most part, I will not defend someone who seeks to destroy us. This guy, I guess it was reported that he had an unloaded AR and was walking down the street, as is his right. As is his right. And they shot at him. That guy shouldn't be in jail. I said, I'm sorry, he shouldn't be in jail. And I believe he got released, and that was sickening what they tried doing to that guy. And I don't like Antifa. But if he was out there marching specifically to strip the gun rights of other Americans, I wouldn't defend him. If he was out there specifically to strip the free speech rights of individuals and then got arrested for speech, I wouldn't defend him. But if you're protesting, say, big banks or police brutality or, I don't know, just some insert progressive cause outside of guns, and you got arrested for having a gun, I'd say, no, hold on. I don't agree with his politics on those areas, but this is not a gun issue. If he went out with a rifle and said, no guns for anyone but me, I'd be like, get arrested for all I care. So anyway, we'll wrap this one up. This is what the media does. They lie. Okay? This guy was arrested, charged with trafficking because the previous administration wouldn't do it. There's no excuse. The body camera footage shows he had 8 people in his car from Texas to Maryland. We're not playing this game. Now, I do want to point out a viral tweet where someone, I can't remember who it was. They said, you can't ban immigration and have abortion at the same time because our population is collapsing. Y'all have no idea. No, I think you guys do because you've seen my videos. We've talked about it, but I'm gonna do another segment on this. Population collapse is the most, it terrifies me. It does. I've got a kid. We're planning on having a bigger family. I had a kid late. I mean, the economic crisis and the circumstances surrounding everything made it difficult to have a family, and culturally. And I've talked about this before, and the left gloats about it. We'll see where this goes. It's going to get interesting. Long story short, the media lies. Thanks for hanging out. Stick around. More to come. Follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Guys, buy Cast Brew Coffee. Go to castbrew.com. I've missed almost a month of work. Thanks for hanging out. Much more to come, and we'll see you all in the next segment.